The court can decide what's true and what's not true.
The court.
That's their job. They're supposed to be neutral, decide what's true and what's not true. Who's lying here? One of you is lying. And who's lying more than the other one and why? And then it's like someone's lying, so they don't get to lie. You don't get to lie because it's it's like the tragedy of the commons is
Do,
the problem.
do we still believe that the court is neutral,
That's a different function.
or that like
No, that's a different
or they're
function.
not-
I'm not even going to enter into that one because I understand your point, and I'm not going to argue with you
Okay.
because it's like
Just-
the court is ideally neutral, and that doesn't hardly cut mustard, does it?
Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the details of the study, but the part that I remember currently is like even like a judge's opinion will change on whether it's before or after his lunch
I don't doubt it for a minute. And it's like,
or Friday.
but he
or
says there's
Monday.
not enough judges is one of the things he says because you need more judges, so they should just be working half time because it's a lot of work to be the judge and figure it out because it's all individual cases, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to make it shortcuts because a human one of the functions of psychology that we talk about is it's we try to save energy because we want to make a look. It's expensive to operate the brain, right? So it's like we want to save the use of this because it takes too much energy and it's too much work to try to figure out what's going on. So we make shortcuts. So we categorize and we have biases and prejudices that we employ to make quick decisions. Like, oh, this guy's trying to rip me off, man. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, right? That's a different deal than okay, we're just working together and we don't have to pay attention to each other because we're just working, right? And we understand what each other are doing in the circumstance. So that will be, we're operating within our intuition. So where this intuition comes back is like, this is like, it's like, look, you have an intuition. It's inherent to you because you weren't like a cognitive agent when you're 7, when you finally got it kind of solidified in your head, what's right and what's wrong. Everybody's doing what they think is right. Okay. And it doesn't matter. You're doing what you think is right, even if it is hostile to me. And it's okay.
It's okay.
It's okay, but it's still hostile to me, which is a form of warfare, right? Which is to say, if I wish to remain civil, I make a law to make it so you don't get to do that to me. Does that make sense? So that I can say, hey, you're stepping all over my toes, man. Stop it. And the court will enforce it. Then we have a civil arrangement, right? And if you don't like it working within this state structure that has that arrangement where you don't get a step on my toes because you think it's right to do so, then you could go somewhere else. And it's okay too. Right? That's the point here. Otherwise it gets ugly.
Mhm.
That's the premise here. And I'm like, we wish to remain civil. Because it's like it costs too much to go every other way. That's the thesis, the general thesis of it. And I don't see anything wrong with it. And what's funny, Doolittle says he calls himself a classic liberal, and I see him as that. He seems like that to me. And it's just like so opposite of this Nazi theory, right? And it's just because he's a Western guy. He likes Western civilization. He wants to. It is. He's like the way Western civilization worked was it was most closely aligned with the truth above all in their value structure, because the first institution of Western civilization was the law. Okay, because it's just the way I tell it goes like this. So 2 white guys are in a room. Okay, and so the one white guy says to the other white guy, I want you to tell me everything you know right now, exactly when you learned it, and without embellishment, because someone's going to get hurt. We are going to hurt someone, and we want to make sure we hit the right people and not the wrong people. That's Western civilization. Okay? It's like, so we want to make sure that we're judicious in our application of the use of force. Right? That's Western civilization. And it's like based on truth. And it's like above all else. So even if it makes you look bad, you tell the truth because otherwise you're being bad. Okay. And it's like the issue is that makes you match more closely to what's really going on in the real world. then you tell sort of a myth that kind of makes enough sense that I don't call you on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. It strikes me as like, what is it? History is made by the victors. And it's like, what is
That's
truth? It's like
interesting. Well, no,
the
I don't
truth is
agree
going
with
to
that.
be
No,
those that are like,
no, bullshit. I don't agree with that one bit.
no,
Because it goes like this. It's like, yes, truth is written by the history is written by the victors. That doesn't mean history's the truth. We don't even accept, I don't accept it as the truth.
okay,
I go like this. It's like, no, history is a myth that was written to cause the structures that be to exist and flourish, which is the myth. It's a myth and it's not true.
but the cultural awareness or belief or structure they make around truth, is that not intended to be also created by the dominant
Yeah. Yes, it is.
people
But
of
it's
the
like,
time?
that's not what we're talking about.
Okay,
The actual truth. So
actual
the Greeks would talk about logos, the word of God that made this, the rules of what's going on here. That's the truth.
Hmm.
So it's like Western civilization matches the best. Yeah. The conversation goes like this. It's like there's two kinds of logic. You can deviate to the left, which is inflationary logic, and to the right, which is deflationary logic. Okay. And so inflationary logic would be like this. It's like everybody's for justice, right? What the fuck does justice mean? Everybody puts in their own interpretation. I'm for justice, and I think you're saying the same thing, and we kind of are nodding our heads together. And it's like it doesn't mean jack because we don't have to agree with what the real answer is because justice is not concrete.
right.
Okay, but it's like this. If you go around that corner and look at that cat, you will see that he is black, just like I did. Okay, that's a concrete statement that's deflationary, and it's like there's really no room for. There's no inflation there because it's like either you do it or you don't, and you see it or you don't, right? It's like, and it's testable hypothesis. So reproducible results, so empirical reality. That's reality.
Yeah,
So that's what Western civilization matches empirical reality better than all the other ones because they like do other things first. They're more interested in like harmony or other things.
Hmm.
Just a thought, man. I think it's not meant to be more than a thought.
but I mean, is it, I'm not super aware of Doolittle, but it
Right.
seems like Doolittle and folks along those lines, it seems like they are trying to create a structure around their ideas, and it seems like the intent is to have those ideas shape the society in which they want.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I know it's definitely there's a bias there, which is I prefer Western civilization to the civilization which is attempting to superimpose itself upon my civilization without asking me. Right. And I'm like there too, because I'm like, I reject the premise that someone gets to superimpose their preference of their civilization on me by order, which is like one of the things we talk about is law, which is natural law, which is we cooperate. So you, as long as you don't do something bad, you can do whatever you want, and we define what is bad. Okay, as opposed to command, which is I said you can't do, you have to do that. That's what is being attempted to be superimposed on Western civilization's natural law. And it's like nobody asked the Western civilization people. They're just undermining and eroding our institutions and subverting our institutions by lies. And I'm like, that seems like a very reasonable premise to me and unacceptable too. So it's like that's how I'm seeing it.
Yeah. If Western civilization was also founded on myths and lies, then
Okay, what?
Then I mean,
no, I'm not. No, it's like I'm not arguing that point.
And
I don't. It's like
I chose Western civilization.
It doesn't matter what you chose. You didn't choose. The premise is you're a bot and you're running social programs that you don't understand in the background that you don't even pay attention to that are making your behavior crank out like the way it is.
Okay, so but why would I be more like I don't feel like I needed to defend Western civilization.
That's because you're lazy. You're demoralized. It's like, it goes like this. It's like, I know it's rude, isn't it? Because there's no way to fight with it. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Best Medicine Podcast with Bradley H. Werrell, DO. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe below, either over there or over there. Also, if you're interested in a medical consultation with myself, there's also information below.